Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the Supershow.
Hey, thank you. It's nice to be here.
This should be exciting. I'm very curious about this game. We're gonna wait a couple of minutes to get started because the streamer for the hour, Snowshoe, is getting a drink. She needed some water, so she'll be right back. So this is Kitty from Robotless Kitty. But I wanted to get you in on the call right away because there's so much to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to talk.
Yeah. To just get everybody kind of familiarized with what kind of thing they should expect, do you want to kind of give them a little bit of like the game pitch, kind of what you're going for with it? And like where it's at?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So in the stars, basically the way we look at it is the ultimate captain experience, right? It's our dream game where we really wanted to come together and build an experience where you sit in the captain's chair and everything that takes place is based on your decisions and your choices in the game. And to really give you this presentation of almost what we call like Picard vision. So imagine like you're Captain Picard, you're on the bridge, not necessarily the Starship Enterprise, but you understand what I'm saying, right? It's like all these things are happening around you. You command your crew. You control a massive ship where there's tons of civilians on board. And in this case, it's very influenced by Battlestar, where you're the last ship remaining, and it's your responsibility to get the few humans who are still alive across the galaxy from one end to the next and find the new home for humanity. So a little bit of FTL in there, a little bit of Oregon Trail, but obviously very, very modern with a full 3D approach using Unreal Engine 4. And for us, it's really just about creating an experience where it's different every time, and players get to pick and choose in a roguelike environment exactly what they want to do and what they want to experience, how much risk they want to take, and really plot their course through this really beautiful and vibrant galaxy.
And it is vibrant and beautiful. Whereas only, I think right now we just get kind of a little sneak peek of sort of the ship a little bit, but the whole thing, like the suns, I love the visuals that you have for the sun. They're just like the different colored glowing orbs of like, massive gas.
I was really excited about that too.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm back.
Oh, there she's back.
Yep.
Hey.
Hi. Streamer extraordinaire.
Shenanigans. No, yeah, I super enjoyed. I load the game. I'm like, holy shit, it's gonna be this kind of game. And then before I even got to the game, like going through the opening stuff, it was just like, oh, it's this kind of game. Okay, Oregon Trail. Okay. And then but then when I got to the real game, I'm like, holy shit, it's pretty things, blue giant, red giant, dwarf stars, amazing. Or dwarf planets, sorry.
Awesome. Yeah, well, we're glad to hear it. Our art director, he's killed himself in this game. He's worked so hard, and he's done almost everything that you see. We've had some help on the side, with character portraits and some of the 3D models, but almost all of it is him. And it's amazing to see, what one person can do when they really put their full weight behind a project like this. So, we're excited to hear that you guys love it as well.
Wait, so how many people worked on this game?
So there were 4 of us, and then we had some help on the side with contractors, stuff like audio and some of the 2D art, which isn't our specialty, places like that. We had some assistants, but the core team of us was 4. Really small. I mean, all of us have been in AAA for over 10 years, so we're leveraging a lot of experience to try to make this happen. And a really, really tight team, and so it's pretty crazy. It's almost been it's been a year and a half since we've done this, but man, it's amazing to see what you can do in a year and a half, right?
Yeah, this is just a year and a half with 4 people. That's amazing. It looks really good. There seems to be a lot of content and different events that happen on the ship and all that kind of stuff. We'll get into it a little more, but you had briefly mentioned that this is kind of the ship with the last of humanity on it, but that's you actually have an entire city in the ship. This is a massive
I actually
ship,
compared it with
understood.
Battlestar Galactica. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I'm Battlestar Galactica! This is amazing. I've been just kind of going back and forth.
Really.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, I think that's a totally apt comparison. I mean, there's a heavy Battlestar influence here. Not only you being the last ship, but also the giant city on board and the constant need for caretaking on the ship and all the different things that are going wrong that you as captain have to deal with. So big influence there for sure. And yeah, I mean, I think that's something that gets lost in people's times people like, oh, it's like Elite Dangerous or it's like these other games. It's like, no, like you're not one person in this little ship. You're one person in a massive ship with 10,000 other people, and they're all of their lives are in your hands. So it's a much different scenario. The stakes are much higher.
Yeah. So at the beginning of this, I don't know where you played, Kitty, but just today he had me update to the current beta where the UI and some other stuff have been adjusted. So I just quickly went through and picked a balanced one, and I think I just did normal so that I would get encounters because I know we wanted to check out some of the combat.
That's a great choice.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get a bunch of stuff either way. Normal is good. I think the pacing will be good. What's funny is that the game first came in early access.
Hold on.
A lot of people are like,
hold on. Sorry, the quality just took a dump, guys. Hold on. I don't know how much of that is because of the game.
So you guys are cutting out. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear?
Everybody has robot voices.
Oh no. This is interesting. Yeah, like I said.
I can still hear you guys if you can.
I don't know.
I hear you, but you sound like a robot. Oh
Yeah.
no! Poor Skype. Maybe we should restart the call. I'm gonna end this and I'll call you guys back. How's
Okay.
that sound?
Let's do it. That sounds good.
All right.
How do we end the call? It's the red. There we go. That was so funny. I love Kitty. Well, while I'm waiting, I'll read this. We managed to put some distance between us and the Scorn, but our warp core is completely destroyed. Thankfully, we salvaged parts in case you needed to do some repairs. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, well, shit, we're all quiet again.
I was like feeling Skype stupid for a moment there.
No worries. I feel that way at least twice a day. Hey, so going back to what I was saying, yeah, like I think you made a good choice for the normal mode, and one of the things that we really pushed to introduce in early access was these different difficulty settings, because when the game first came out, a lot of people were like, oh my god, this is harsh. I really just wanted to fly around space and check things out at my own pace, and a lot of people loved it. Those who are really used to roguelike games and the ramped intensity of those were like, oh, this is really cool. I like the difficulty. That's a good thing. So we pushed to branch things out. So now there's like the extreme difficulty at one end, and then there's the explorer mode at the other, and you're getting a really, really different experience between those.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, that's something that I would encourage people to check out, because like normal is going to be a great experience for today, but like if you feel like, oh, I'm not really being pushed, definitely go into pursuit mode, and you're going to feel it, because the Scorn, this is the enemy race, and in the game are going to be hot on your tail.
Well, they're a very aggressive race, and then there's also different races you encounter through trade or something else that goes on. I believe.
Can you boost the Skype volume? Apparently, when we started the new call, it made everyone else really quiet.
Okay. Well, I did turn everything up though, so the volume. Dev is quiet. Ben, do you want to talk?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, I see what happened. OBS also adjusted. Silly Windows. Silly Windows.
Oh.
Okay. Is everyone heardable? Yeah. I don't know. Every time. So if you haven't played with Skype before, Skype likes to auto adjust a lot of levels. TLDR.
Yeah. Skype is evil.
Yeah. Also,
it's super useful, but it can also be really evil.
The only reason it's useful is because everybody else uses it. If we all just finally put our feet down and not use it anymore, it would not be what we use.
Yeah. Well, I think that's happening though. it's starting to happen with other stuff like Discord. You have old stuff like Mumble, and then there's TeamSpeak. So, but they're not viable for a lot of people for business, and Skype is way more accessible. The accessibility for Skype is through the roof compared to everything else right now. Even Discord is still kind of hidden underneath everything. Also, yeah, thank you for saying stuff about how the stream quality is, because it is actually really helpful, and I'd feel really bad if everyone couldn't hear it. It's like, why is it so quiet? No one's saying anything. What's going on, man? So right now I'm just checking all of the stuff because I picked that auto-generated one. So apparently I am loaded out on magnesium, which is not how I played the game. It was so funny. Like everyone has their own little home. So it's like you have nitrogen and you have and hydrogen and blah 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 blah. So this is fun. This is how I'm supposed to play the game.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that the preset loadouts definitely make it a lot easier too. That's one thing that we wanted to introduce for newer players as well, is basically, when we first started the game, it's like, okay, here's all these options, but you don't have a lot of context when you're customizing those things. So I think it's important that, we added these modes where it's just like, okay, I want this kind of ship, I want that kind of ship. And you can jump right into gameplay without really having to worry about it. And then as you get used to things and familiarize yourself, you can come back and really custom tweak the ship that is exactly what you want with the specific modules and resources and everything else, because this game is all about repetition, and it's harsh. So you're gonna have to figure out how to get through the world. It's definitely a lot of trial and error, and part of that is picking the right modules and resources and loadout for your journey.
I thought it was really interesting to me when I first tried playing it. I understood that I needed to get these resources from these planets, but I also could only see there was only like one planet in sight, really. And I had this massive amount of anxiety.
You're like, am I gonna make it?
Am I gonna make it? And I loved that happened like almost immediately, and it just really sucked me into the universe.
Oh, that's awesome.
My feel on that though is I started losing people. I'm like, I'm losing people. They are counting on me, and I'm failing them. And then I'm like, well, I haven't lost the game yet, so fuck them.
Yeah. Well,
you can trade people.
That brings up another thing. You can trade people. That's the other thing that's been nice too that we added recently was if you press 6 right now, you can go and you can show everybody the giant city that's on your ship.
And they just arrived at planets.
And when it's there, so you'll see the giant city that's there, and one of the things you can do is impact the amount of resources that you're giving your civilian population. And if you give them extra resources, your growth rate will go up, right? So that's the amount of babies being born on the ship. So you can see there's like normal and up, right? So you could like change that, and it's all good. Click whatever you want. So you could up that if you want, and it's going to reduce your resources faster, but you'll have more babies if you want to try to replace people, or you can build buildings that will serve the same purpose.
In space, breathing is a privilege. Yes, because like I would be traveling to the planet because I ran out of life support, and people are they're dying. I'm like, well, apparently we don't die immediately, so I'm not that worried. I kind of my cat like tendencies showing, and I'm like, fuck them, they'll be fine. So what? 1,000 people died.
Very cat.
1,000 people died. That's whatever. That I'm still alive. It's cool. I got my cats right here. Here's our tuna. Okay. What am I doing? I actually wanted to build sanitation.
Apocalypse is asking how far off you think you are from the 1.0 version.
Well, so pretty close. So what you're playing actually, and this is the first time we've shown this. What you're playing is pretty close to release. So we're hammering on things right now. This build is a couple of days behind, and we've got about a week left where we're just adding content and polishing and doing a bunch of stuff. But this is really close, and we're going to be basically 1.0 when we launch March 4th. So that's a week from today. So it's getting there. It's come a long way in the last 9 months in early access, that's for sure.
That's awesome, man. Oh, well, thank you for taking your time to actually be here on this show instead of madly attacking your computer to make
No,
things.
it's all good. I've been crunching my face off for a week, and this is a
Oh.
really nice break. Like, I poured myself a cocktail. I'm like, I'm gonna do a stream. We're gonna hang out for a little bit. Then I'll go back. It'll work a little bit more, and then try to get some sleep.
Let's see, who has high mining? I didn't really care. I just kind of picked everyone. What's great is that everyone's skills sort of go up over time. So I'm like, it'll be fine. That's how. Well, you see, because at first I'm like, well, wait, what does this all mean? Because like there wasn't any like, so if I would have clicked the help button, whatever, but I was lazy. I just wanted to kind of go through and check it out. I'm like, oh, what does this mean? And I'm like, okay, PLT means pilot. What's mining? And it all starts slowly coming together, but it is a little bit overwhelming at first. Especially, it's like if you don't want to do the research and you just want to dive in, it's a little overwhelming. But it's a good kind of overwhelming because it makes you
right. Like you have to like pick your crew, and you don't really know what kind of impact the crew will have. Is that kind of?
Well, yeah.
what
So
you're
each
looking
minute,
at,
so it
that kind
looks
of
like
stuff?
it looks, and Ben will chime in when he feels like it. But it's like it looks. So like the pilots will, depending on their level, will determine the success rate of, that plus the success rate of going down because of stormy weather, blah blah blah. And I assume the mining thing specifically would be like, so this game, like how many hurdles I have to go through.
Yeah, so mining skill specifically impacts your ability to move the drill, like the speed of the drill. So a better miner in more complicated situations is going to be much more adept. So when you're starting off, like you see the drill is kind of sluggish, right? You're moving it left to right.
I blew up.
So, and you want to avoid, you're doing well. So yeah, you want to avoid the red blocks of death. Those are bad. And then try to get as many, nice move. Try to get as many resources as possible.
Yeah, I'm going to do it one more time.
Yeah, I think.
I like the delay. This
Yeah,
is beautiful.
that's right.
It's adorable. I actually thought about screen sharing just for this, but I'm like, oh god, this is so resource intensive that I'm like, we're fine. It'll be funnier. But yeah, no, like I actually have gotten all the way, through my fuel for the mining thing. So it's definitely interesting, and it's almost what's that game on The Price is Right, where the not thing goes down the pegs.
Oh, Plinko.
Yeah, it's like Plinko, but it's like Plinko and Pachinko, same thing.
Yep.
Threat level yellow.
Yeah, similar concept for sure.
Yeah. So now that she's getting a better pilot, I tried balancing out my pilots. I'm like, okay, I should at least have two. But then I'm realizing, like, well, I'm not actually as likely to lose my crew members as I think I am, like in FTL. Because in FTL, I'm like, oh man, everyone has to learn everything so that when one character dies, I'm not completely screwed.
See, what's funny is that you say that, but like,
oh god,
the experience changes every time. Like, you could go start exploring planets, and like you could make the wrong choice, and you could lose 3 crew members right away. I mean, it's that level of unpredictability. So what's great though is that we introduced a lot of player choice into our shuttle missions recently. So now, like, you really, based on the choices you make, you're more or less likely to put your crew members at risk. So you can be a better captain if you want, or you can throw their lives into the wind and try to get as much stuff as possible.
Yeah. Okay. I think we got enough in here. Let's go back. Darn it, I was gonna say something and I forgot.
That mini game, you get so intense when you play it.
You're like,
it's an interesting, like, it is
Part of it's the
design.
music too, right? Like,
oh yeah.
I think we had an AMA on Reddit with Jack Wall, our composer, today, and the response was really awesome. He's amazing. Like, we are so lucky to have him because this score is just so amazing. Like, especially for an indie game, it's really fantastic, and he's put a lot of effort into it. And I think everything that's tied to music, whether that's combat or exploration, mining, whatever it is, I think each of those moments is distinct and impactful. And it's just so nice to have that, because it, in certain cases it ramps up the intensity, or it really brings you into, the awe of the universe and exploring it. It's just a beautiful score. I'm just so excited to have it, because it's been something that's in the works for a long time, and it's finally done.
Epoch Rage. Is it Epic Rage? Or I can't pronounce your name. Hi. He had mentioned about...
Rage.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. He had mentioned something about the UI overhaul, which is funny because you had told me that you did just that recently. You had
so I mean, we did a huge overhaul on the UI for sure, and most of it was performance based. But you know, our art director touched every screen as well and brought them more in line, a little more modern, a little lighter. Sadly, the way that things are structured is we're really limited in that regard because of the data of you know, we're back on version 4.7.4 of Unreal Engine and we can't change. So it's you know, we're pretty limited in that, and the game is really UI driven. So we have to do everything by hand, and it's very, very tedious. So we're aware of that. We, you know, we love what we did with the eye. I know Alden really killed himself to make it look as good as he did with the really limited systems that we have at our disposal. And you know, I think as a whole, like, the game artistically speaks for itself, and at least the eye now like really brings itself into the world, and it's much more functional than it's been in the past.
Yeah, and I'm also playing it at a slightly lower resolution because full screen just kicks my ass. My computer's not quite as good enough, but what I have it at now is very usable, and it's actually way smoother than it was when I was playing with the previous. Oh, there's a scorn. When I was playing with the previous UI stuff, or whatever. So whatever you did actually kind of improved all things, which was really nice.
Thanks. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's what's been cool. I mean, we've been kind of quiet over, you know, I think it's been, I'd have to check, but I think it's been like 10 weeks, or at least it will be 10 weeks by the time we launched since our last patch. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if people looked at, you know, the cadence of our patches and everything else, you can tell the amount of stuff that's going to go into this patch. There's a lot for this 1.0 update, and I think we're all pretty proud of the state that it's in, especially given how small our team is. We've been working really hard, so yeah, I think it's going to play a lot better than what people had out there, you know, in early access, and we've added a lot of cool stuff too. So I think it's going to be a really good release.
Yeah.
How's building up the hype for it, like your press stuff and everything like that? How's that going? Because I know that's one of the hardest things for indies is getting exposure.
It's good. I think, you know, it's tough for us because we're in a place where it's like when you go into early access, mainstream media kind of forgets about you. They're like, okay, they're in early access, whatever. No one really cares that much, even when you release like major updates and stuff. So for us, it's about trying to make as big as a splash as possible, you know, in the next week. So, you know, we really started activities today, and you know, we've got, you know, with the AMA, and we've got a lot of stuff coming up. We've got an amazing trailer that we're launching next week. We just rolled out our new website. We've got a lot of supporting content and contests, all kinds. We're just doing anything we can, you know, in the next week to really get people interested and excited about the game. Because, you know, what's funny is, you know, when you're an indie, all the time. I mean, I was on NeoGAF today and I posted something like, I think I was just like ranting about how tired I was, and like I was like, oh, but our website's finally done or whatever, and all these people were like, wait, what is this game? I've never seen this before. This is awesome. Yeah. And you're like, oh wow, there's so many people that, you know, that don't know about this. It would be great if we had more means of reaching them. So yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest struggle for indies for sure. And there's, you know, there's a lot of good advice out there in that regard, but I think, you know, getting exposure and attention as an indie is way more challenging than building a quality game. It's the toughest thing to do.
Yeah. In my mind, it's kind of interesting because the way that things have gone with like Unreal and Unity and all these different platforms for building your games, and then like that's making it so that it's easier and easier to get into game development. Like every college now has like game development courses, and it's easier and easier to make games, which is awesome. More people should make games. But then on the business side of it, it means that all of these games are pouring out into the world and competing for eye space, you know, like for like being seen.
Right.
It's like more and more games are releasing on the same day.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a complicated problem. I mean, not just from a marketing perspective. Think of it from a business perspective, right? Where you're looking at price point, where, you know, what platforms do you launch on, where do you launch in the market, you know, and we've seen over the past couple of years. I mean, just a year ago, even a year and a half ago, Steam was a great place to be as an indie. You know, if you could get in there, you know, you had a really good chance. And now the market on Steam is so saturated that it's stand out, even title, like even as a quality indie title. So it's much more akin to like, you know, the App Store. And being in those marketplaces is a call like a bottom, basically, where in order to compete and stand out, you're competing not on quality but on dollars first.
Yeah.
And I think that's really challenging, you know, especially, I mean, we saw some of the articles in the past week and some of the other stuff that come out, like the Firewatch devs talking about this, and the Brigador devs, I think, were talking about this a little bit too, and, you know, trying to defend their price point and the amount of time that the game takes to play. I think it's, you know, a lot of people really don't understand the amount of time and money and energy that goes into creating even a simple indie game. So it's difficult to justify, you know, that energy and effort against a normalized price. You know, in the world, and, you know, all these games that you can just download and play for free. I'd like to anybody why they should pay $20 for a game, even if it's great, right? Yeah, so that's, I mean, anyway, that's a big thing. It's really tough.
The quality has just been deteriorating as you were talking, Ben. I felt so bad. I'm like, I didn't want to interrupt you, but it wasn't Skyping. Yeah, sorry.
Hey, robots again. Oh, this is horrible.
You know, I could try
Hold on.
hosting. Well, I'm not sure if me hosting the call would work at all. I don't know.
Ben,
Hey, you guys there?
Benjamin, can you try giving me a call and see if you starting the call will make it work? Because I don't know what's going on.
Sure.
All right, sorry.
All
Let's
right.
try this one more time.
No worries.
All right.
In the meantime, we're just hanging out. So the civilian report stuff, it's kind of like little stuff that pop up that you need your attention. Although I haven't noticed if they give me like anything. I haven't noticed if they give me any plus points because I get distracted easily. My health is down. Well, let's upgrade it. Stuff and things. How's everyone doing tonight? So I need to go someplace. Let's go to Sigma Sector. Snowshoes cat fits in pretty okay here. Yeah, I think so. Oh, there it is. Hello? Moshi moshi? Oh, the quality went down again. Not quality.
Uh-oh. Snowshoe.
There we go. Hello, everyone?
And for the people, all the pug love.
Pug love? Oh my! Hello, pugs!
Pug love. We're
Oh.
having some audio issues at the moment.
Yeah, this is, you know,
It's not breaking up. It's just
We're robots right now.
I almost wonder if it's the game, but that seems weird. That it should just affect me, though, wouldn't it?
I don't know how computers work. They're like,
Computers, how do they work?
I don't think it's the game. I mean, if it was online, then maybe not. But it's, you know, it's probably not hogging all your resources. We'll see.
Oh, I could check out Task Manager. Well, it's only using 5 gigs, so probably not. But it's using all my CPU, but that's to be expected. No, whatever.
we can
it's
try
fine.
using Discord. I can throw you guys both a link to Discord.
Oh, sad face.
Sure, whatever works.
Oh, this is horrible. I just want to be able to hear all the awesome things you have to say. So
Yeah. No, I feel bad because it's like, oh. Okay. Well, let me know
Here.
if you're gonna get that. Okay. Let me adjust this course.
sorry, guys.
Alright.
Technical difficulties.
So you want me to rock the Discord and drop stand?
Yeah, jump into Discord and I think there's one just called like group chatter. Just go right into there.
Yeah, I'm playing the game while working on it, so. Because I gotta launch Discord and stuff.
Okay.
Streaming and Skype calls might be too much for the connection. Well, and you know, this seems weird though that everyone is hearing it. It's because it's Kitty and to Ben as well. So.
In the channel. Jumps over and we should be good to go. I think.
Come on, Discord.
Let's give it a shot.
Commander training. Hell yeah. Who wants to be an awesome commander? Everyone does, apparently. No, Kimberly does. Or, no, Kimberly does. Thank you.
Did you get the link? I posted it in the chat, Snowshoe. For
Yeah, I'm getting there. Oh no, browser! Browser! I don't want you to launch! I have a whole app for you! What the heck? Oh, you're crazy.
It's okay, guys. We're in outer space. This is what happens sometimes.
Yeah, right? Going to planet. Sometimes you get solar flares, you know? Stuff and things.
Solar flares, gravitational fluxes,
What?
capacitors exploding, warp core engines.
Oh man, everything's moving a
Hey,
little
Alex,
bit.
so what do you want me to do? Do you want me to drop the Skype call and just go on Discord or what?
I think that's the plan. Assuming that Snowshoe can get into the Discord.
I launched.
Okay.
It's Indie Potato Butts, right?
Yes. Yes. There should be a voice channel. Just jump into the one that we're both in.
Okay, let me get to this. Let me pause this. Okay. Okay. I'm like, how do I get to the? Oh yeah, pause. Okay.
Yeah, let's drop the Skype call and we'll wait for Snowshoe. I think that's the best setup.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna disconnect.
Hey guys, it's just you and me now. You and me against the world. Hello?
Yay!
Okay, let me close things. I'm having some high CPU usage warnings, so I don't know how intensive some of this stuff is. So let me close a couple processes. Skype is through the roof. Goodbye, Skype.
I think this is probably the shiniest game we've played during the stream. I think that's why you're having troubles.
Yeah, that's what. Well, see, that's why I'm thinking as well, because like launching Chrome was like, you wanted to launch Chrome? You're crazy. That's exactly what the computer was saying to me. But everything. So, is everyone? Can everyone hear? Can everyone hear everyone? Okay, like that's thing one.
Testing.
Oh. Wait, why was Discord muted? That's weird. I can hear everyone. Waiting for the delay in the chat to catch up. You do not have permission to view the message history in this chat. Wait, why can't I move it? Okay, Discord, we need to talk about UI design. Let's not talk about that right now, though. Hello?
Is there a graphics setting you can lower inside of the game to make
Oh,
it
Yeah.
I'm low. I'm already low now.
You're-
I'm at all of the lower settings, unless there's more hidden ones that I'm not aware of, which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what graphics settings you're on currently.
It doesn't. So here, I can show everyone what I got. It'll be a delay, but so all of my graphics are set to low, and then I have VSync off, and my resolution is very low.
Yeah, I mean, that should do it. I don't know what kind of rig you're running on, but hopefully that's good. Yeah, that should do it, I would think.
Well, Ben, your voice is coming through clear for me. So Snowshoe can hear you, and you can hear her. We should be good to go.
Yeah, great. I mean, let's just keep going, and whatever happens.
Oh, hi there!
I think this is good.
I got into a fight. Hi, guys. Sorry, I'm imitating them. I'm trying to speak to them in their native language, and they don't like it. My pronunciations are very bad. Oh, you're on task. Oops. Well, that's bad timing.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll do an introduction. So this is the Scorn. This is one of two alien races that are hostile to you, and these are the ones that are actually responsible for destroying your home planet.
Oh my.
And they are determined to punch you down and kill you. So why you're kind of always on the move and you need to keep rolling. Anybody familiar with that concept in FTL? FTL will recognize it here. Ours is set up a little bit based on a giant wave factor. It's based on the amount of time you spend in it.
Based on the amount of time you spend?
Yeah, based on the time you spend in an individual sector. Yeah.
How many different sectors are there?
I can
90 total.
If I throw up the map again after I deal with this, there I think that's where all the 90 sectors are or whatever. And you can technically explore all of them though, right?
Yeah, you can explore all of them. Yeah, for sure. And I think that's one of the things that we encourage people to do is fly around and try out different routes and check out different areas because each different sector has its own benefits and it's also just different perils, right? So a lot of different routes that you can take to get to your ultimate destination. It's really up to you. So yeah, we definitely encourage you.
Quick technical thing. So, if you two could double check in your voice settings that your activity is set right. Sometimes, if it's like mumble, your audio it's like auto push to talk. So when you're not talking, it'll turn off the microphone, so it'll sound like you're going in and out. So just make sure your levels are adjusted correctly, so it doesn't.
Yeah, I have mine set to push to talk.
Okay. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I'm fighting now.
I can push.
Sorry, what was that, Ben?
Oops. I killed people.
Ben, we lost you.
Ben!
We did. We lost him. He's
We broke
lost
him.
in space.
Hey, you guys, can you hear me?
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I tried to change it to push to talk and it's not working.
Okay. Sorry.
No worries.
Anyhow, this is the Supershow.
So yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh my
Got
God.
games.
So,
You like games?
crazy, yeah.
Yo, bro.
So you're in the middle of fighting this morning, right, Dave? What's cool is that you're using a lot of the different tools at your disposal. You can see that you got a laser cannon, and then you've got all these different frequencies, right? So a lot of combat is about frequency matching.
Mm-hmm.
You can see if, for instance, he's about to blue laser at you, so you want to either evade or deflect with a similar color, right? And vice versa, if he had a shield up that was yellow, if you fired your weapons now, they would deflect them, right? Make sure to mix up your weapon frequencies, and then whatever they're firing at you, you want to try to match.
Oh, I took his weapons off. Yay. Suck it. Okay.
So
Super intense.
inside of the game, there's a combat mechanic. There's this like kind of civilization management mechanic. There's this kind of exploration mechanic, as well as this mining mechanic as far as like dealing with having all of these different elements that you need to like work through and maintain like, various things. How did you manage to kind of like make them in one cohesive game in a sense? Like, how did you like? How was that path for you? Did you have them all from the very beginning?
No, definitely not. And I think that's a great question. We knew that everything that we wanted to do was driven from this perspective of the captain's experience, right? We wanted to build on that experience. And resource management was a huge aspect of it from the start, of course. And the combat was there. A lot of the other things, like the civilian management, really wasn't there to the degree that you have now. I mean, it was something that was always kind of light. It's like, okay, you have these civilians and you're trying to keep them alive, but you keep them alive instead of like running from the scorn and ensuring that they have resources. Well, a couple of patches ago, we introduced civilian management, and that allows you, control of this entire city. So you can be this big city that's on the back of your ship, and you can build structures that address public issues, and you can adjust things like the amount of resources that they're consuming, and you're graded on all of this stuff at the end of your journey. So it's important as well. So for instance, if you're running really low on resources. Maybe it's like, okay, well, I'll rationing the low and reduce the amount that my civilians are consuming. But that's going to bring up some issues for you, and potentially some people could die. So I mean, there's risk reward with everything that you do in the game, and that's the biggest thing for us. Is it's all about choice. It's all about you as the captain making the tough decisions and living with the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So you're toying with people's emotions on purpose.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, in a way, you have to kind of pick and choose.
You do. I think that's a big component of the game is what do you want to focus on? What do you want to do? Do you want to try to keep your crew alive? Really focus on civilians? You want to try to do it all? Because I think especially new players, I think are going to struggle to do it all. They might understand combat and exploration, but they might struggle with shuttle missions or civilian missions. And I think it really takes multiple playthroughs to get a complete grasp of everything that's going on and to become a really excellent captain.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true to the nature of roguelikes in general, I think, too. Like that you have to play it and die enough times to learn your lessons.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point, right? And I embrace the harsh nature of that. I think I think a lot of players do. But it was really interesting to hear a lot of responses from players that aren't. There are a lot of players in sci-fi genre that aren't used to roguelikes. It's not something outside of games like FTL that's that are super common. Not a ton of them. So I think, especially in a game like this, like introducing those mechanics, it was really interesting to see people's reactions all and to make adjustments based off of their perspective.
I think the key thing is that it's intriguing enough that people want to come back over and over and over to keep learning it. There seems to be enough here to incite interest in the game, which brings people back to continue learning. Because while I mentioned it was a little bit overwhelming earlier, it's enough to still like, okay, I'm still interested. So like,
right.
what's here? What's here that's closer to? Oh God! Oh Jesus! I couldn't make it through that one.
That's the goal really, is to put that carrot out there
God.
for players, and we try to give them something on every trip that they can look at and say like, okay, that might not have gone too well, but at least I know what the layout of this sector is, or I know to avoid this area because there's a lot of enemy holes, or I really want to hit this planet halfway through my journey because there's some great resources there. Those are the kind of things that you'll pick up on playthroughs, and you make adjustments the next time around, and more than likely improve.
Mm-hmm.
Repetition is one of the keys in improving, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very logical.
Yeah.
Yay, logic.
Crazy logic.
And in like all of your playtesting and stuff like that, have there been mechanics or little things that you've done that kind of came back to like not necessarily bite you in the ass, but like a reaction or a response that you really weren't anticipating?
Oh, yeah, several. I think definitely the biggest one I think for sure was definitely the harsh nature of the game at launch. It's something that we really push for, and we've got a lot of responses. It's too hard, and okay. So I think when we did a big balancing pass on it, which we're continuing to do over and over, and added the difficulty settings, I think that really impressed me. But I think there were a lot of. I think the biggest thing that surprised us more than anything was coming out in early access and people's expectations that it was a complete game. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, well, why don't you have like multi-monitor support for this game? Why can't I use Eyefinity? Why can't I use VR? Like, why, all these different things. And I'm like, look, like, we just launched into early access yesterday. Like, those are all cool things, and we would love to support some of that stuff, but, like, give it, like, a time, maybe? So, yeah, I mean, I think that was the biggest surprise is that there is no set standard of expectations for early access. And basically, you've got it's a really important launch, and we always treated it as such. But I don't think we anticipated the level players expected early.
Well, so
This is also
I was just curious why you had decided to launch it in early access versus possibly doing more beta testing and then doing a full release. Go over maybe that decision and possibly how it's benefited you to be in early access.
Well, I think there's a lot of benefits. I mean, there's the financial benefit is obvious, right? Although you're not making a ton of money in early access, it definitely helps. I think the biggest thing for us was getting feedback on a really wide spectrum. You can do beta tests, but managing that on your own is a full-time job as well. And one of the things that early access is great for is it kind of builds that community aspects into this platform, which it's a huge cost and time saving. So that was definitely big because we wanted to get the biggest and widest response possible. Look at a really wide net and say like, okay, of all of this feedback, what is really resonating? How does this impact where we want to take the game and where we think it should go? And what of these suggestions from the community we take and make better? Honestly, like there was so much. There's almost too much amazing feedback that came from the community. Like we're doing all we can to implement great things, but at the end of the day, you have to like, okay, like this is iteration 1. Like there's a million things that we can do from here, but it's complete and out there. Able to us. I think we would have been disappointed with the results had we done a little bit more beta testing.
Mm-hmm. There's something to be said to just putting your hands into the ruthless public.
There's a lot. Yeah, definitely. It's scary as hell, but honestly, like, you know what I mean? Like, players are very critical, and they're going to get right down to the point. And what's great about that is that a lot of times I'm not having to dig through sugarcoating to figure out exactly what they're saying or what's really upsetting or what they love. You get right down to the gist of it. And that's just...
Hey, I won! Yay!
Yay!
Hey, good job. Big explosions.
Yay! I actually like how it just goes. I almost wish there was some debris left over, just because it's space, so it kind of would have just went out.
I am totally with you. I'm completely with you. It's funny, in this we found debris to be really challenging, just because of the way the game is structured. Like we wanted to have stuff like that floating everywhere. Like this derelict ship is totally destroyed, and there's just shit everywhere, and you can do amazing maneuvers through it. From a game in terms of like building it, and also you've got a big slow ship, So you really want to do those kind of things, and you'll find like if you go through asteroid fields and stuff, more often than you're not, you're like, oh shit, I just got myself into way more than. So it's also not necessarily one of the players.
Yeah, I was really afraid to go into the asteroid. I'm like, I don't know how this game handles these things. I feel like I need to protect my ship. If it's like FTL, and they're just gonna bombard me. I actually went through, so I don't know. I call them bone roids. That sounds really weird. I call them bone asteroids because there's holes through them, and you can fly through it. And I actually flew through it looked like a skeleton, like the back, like a spinal cord, and I flew all the way through it without taking damage. I'm like, this is so cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that's actually an ice cave, believe it or not. So
an ice cave.
There's a couple of those. Yeah, so it's actually ice. There's a lot of asteroids and structures in space made up of this ice, whether it's like nitrogen, whatever.
Wow.
So our art director really wanted to build something to kind of reference.
So one thing I haven't tried yet is I haven't actually sent a shuttle to the surface of a planet. Does that have...
Do that.
Do that now!
But, like, I was concerned because a lot of the planets are like, they're not hospitable for people. I'm like, okay, so maybe I shouldn't do it.
So we changed it. So you'll notice that actually, that's one of the things that's changed in this build is that doesn't it's not there anymore. So if you look at the descriptions for the planets now, there's no more inhospitable for people. You can send a shuttle team down to any planet in the game. The only separation, of course, is like the weather is different on all those, so it increases your risk. Depending, if you decide to send a shuttle down to an inhospitable planet. But there's stuff down there, and really the risk comes in from your choices once you're actually down there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, that'd be fun. Here, I'll do it. I shall do it right now. Hopefully, I have a pilot.
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Who's not preoccupied? Of course, my pilot is in sickbay. Thanks, game. Let's put you. I need a commander, and I need someone who's good at that. Okay. Oh, I have a feeling I'm gonna lose my crew.
You'll be fine.
I'll be fine. Everything's okay, guys. Everything's okay.
There's not much project.
Oh, look, it was success.
No risk.
It was okay. No, it was 67%. 67% has not been good for me lately. So.
That's
Oh, look.
dangerous. I like it though. Roll
Captain, which location shoot? So we have a down probe, a busy signal. What the fuck did they call them? And then just like, it's busy, guys. Yeah, we've been trying to call you for weeks, and you're just not picking up. Is your phone off the hook? I really need fuel.
We are nearing the end of the segment.
Oh no.
Yeah. So actually, this is
Here, let's finish.
Hurry up and finish the mission.
Oh my god! Arrive at the depot has gone unnoticed. There seems to be an nonsense. Let's see if there's anyone here. Fix the leak. Fix the leak. Executing orders. It was success! Huzzah! Banzai! We quickly found the source of the leak, and we were able to contain using duct tape. Hell yeah! Duct tape! For the win. I knew that would come in handy. The overseer gave us some supplies, and thanks. Yay! Supplies. Does any of them have band-aids? 'Cause that'd be cool.
Nice. So what's great is that on these shuttle missions, you can get all kinds of things, whether like new crew members, new modules for your ship, you can get alien technology, you can get the parts like you discovered here. So there's a lot of different really useful stuff that you get from the missions, so they're totally worth your while. Especially if you lost a crew member. It's definitely the best way to try to get replacements.
Alright, I agree with that. Yellow alert? Confounded game. Why you gotta yell at me? But yeah, no, this was super fun. I'm super sorry, everyone, for all the audio clips and stuff. I was super worried about that coming in, and I was like, oh, well, everything seems fine. Crossing fingers, so...
it's all good. I definitely really enjoyed watching you guys play. It's a learning experience every time.
Yeah, I hope it wasn't Too bad.
You did great, Snowshoe.
Yeah.
It was your computer.
Yeah,
I blame your computer.
Yes.
Snoosh's fund for new computer. Okay, go.
Ben, did you have any last minute things you wanted to say to the chat before we send you on your merry way into outer space?
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, first, thanks everybody for watching. Definitely appreciated. And the second is that if you're interested at all, definitely check out our website, intothestarsgame.com. And the game is going to launch next Friday, March 4th. So it's just around the corner.
So close.
Lots of fun stuff coming out with that. Yeah, it's so close. It's just $20, so totally reasonable. It's not crazy. And it's a really, really fun experience. And
I mean, the price
Sure.
the price point, like the visuals of the game, visuals and the content really kind of reflect the price point too, just to keep all that in everyone's mind.
And it's got those roguelike qualities, so it's replayable.
Mhm.
It is replayable. It's not just 2 hours and you're done. There's a lot of value to coming back to this game over and over and really challenging yourself. So, thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it. It was fun, and I hope we can do it again soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Best of luck with your launch.
Awesome. Thank you.